Hello there, my beautiful collective signs. This is Rachel with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's video is going to be a whirlwind. I have a lot of cool cards here, a lot of not so cool cards here, good energy, bad energy. It's just like all over the place. But a lot of healing is here happening for the collective generally. So the song that I was guided to meditate to today was Fighter by Royal Deluxe. You definitely want to check out those lyrics. It's definitely about like getting off your knees when life keeps like kicking you in the, you know, um, collectively, I think we're all going through it. So you're not alone. I just want to say that. There's definitely messages about standing up for yourself, having a voice, using it, not letting people get you down because understanding that the choices, the actions, the lies, the deceit, the betrayals, all of those things that people do to each other are really a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And once you can fully absorb that, um, you can really handle anything because then you understand that that person is coming from a place of usually self-loathing or self-hate when they take actions that are based in fear or based in shame. It's because they feel that same way about themselves. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind as you're going through your hardship. Sometimes that's still even hard to grasp when you are in the midst of really absorbing the betrayal and heartache. And I'm feeling like a lot of chest like pressure. So it's like it hurts my heart to think about people doing things maliciously or with negative intention just to seek revenge or something like that because like if you're wise, you're not going to want to seek revenge or need to seek revenge because karma and life will do that naturally, like for you. And you don't have to go slit someone's tires or like go, you know, get back at someone for betraying you because typically like their lives and their misery and their sorrow and their like I don't even know how to describe it. All of that negative stuff, it just like festers and it grows on them because that's what they've decided to feed. So once you start feeding like the parasite or like the negative energy, it's really hard to get off that train. And when you can access your higher self and you can access your supernatural abilities, and when you can decide and choose to use those things for good, then you become part of the solution instead of part of the problem, and you break the chain of trauma and you break the cycle and you break free. And that is a gift in itself, even if sometimes it doesn't feel like it, because like you can feel like you're all alone on this journey. And I'm just here to tell you you're not. You're not alone. We're all going through this collectively. It's a major shift. And yeah, there's definitely spirit guides and angels with you because I'm also like clairvoyance and I just got like a shadow. Sometimes I can see silhouettes and things like that, and there's definitely guides here with you, and they want you to know that you're not alone. And there's also spirit animal guides that we have sometimes too, but something about mermaids, something about bears and giraffes might be significant. But there's a lot of messages here, so let's go ahead and dive in, collective, and see what resonates for you. Now, your current energy is Ten of Cups. This is like typically a legacy, dream come true, fulfillment. This can also just be like, even if you're going through a breakup or a hardship or something, this is like you finally know what love is because you've experienced what love isn't. And emotionally, I feel like you're a 10 out of 10, okay? Because you have the awareness, you have the cognizance, you have that emotional intelligence capacity to understand what the difference is between limerence and love. And this is something to celebrate, but it's also a cause and a challenge because you're still healing. You're still healing from heartbreak. You're still healing from emotional trauma or damage or an expectation yet you had that never came true. The Four of Swords is like R&R. This is contemplation. This is self-awareness. And I feel like you're really conflicted at this time because the basis of what's happening here is conflict. So like maybe you didn't see eye to eye with someone and you really had to make a choice and decide what you were going to do. Now, in the past here you have the Judgment card. This card to me is like not only your connection with your guides and your higher self and spirit, but this is also a card of like, is your heart going to be lighter than a feather? You had a choice to make. You were fighting with someone, and you can either stoop to their level or you can elevate yourself. You can move forward and move on. And I do feel like for a lot of you, you chose to move on. Now, for some people, this might be a third party situation. Maybe you were the third party, unbeknownst to you, or you felt like someone was doing something sneaky behind your back. But I feel like you've like acknowledged that that's not okay and that you've really like moved past it because, or you're trying to move past it currently, because you have in your like present energy, you also have the 10 of swords. That's like, stick a fork in me and I'm done. I'm not playing the games or the mind games somebody wanted you to play, and you're moving forward. Now in the near future, you have 3 pentacles. This is also what makes me think that there was some sort of third party situation, because whenever I get like stuff to do, like anything that has a vibe of like love around it, and the number 3, I always go to third party. Now, this doesn't have to be third party. This can just be like you really throwing yourself into community or your network of friends, or trying to like build yourself back up again and put yourself out there in a way that will like cause you to work together with someone. Um, but what's in your control right now is moving forward. The Knight of Wands is a fast moving energy of like getting on the horse and going. Now, this can also be tied to creative endeavors. So maybe you're really pursuing something that's going to bring you a lot of passion and joy. This is also sometimes a card of love where somebody's coming in all hot and heavy and steamy. So just be cautious if that's not what you're interested in. Because sometimes the Knight of Wands is a very lusty energy. And when you have when you have something that comes in really hot and heavy, it usually kind of like it's like a sparkler. Like it's gonna fizzle out real fast. It's gonna be very bright, but it's gonna be gone before you know it. So use discernment there. And then how people see you is the Wheel of Fortune. Maybe they see you as lucky or very fortunate to have learned the lesson so quickly, or to have gotten out of something relatively unscathed, because maybe some people didn't get out of that situation unharmed, or maybe not as damaged as you did. So, it's all relative. People are like, things and situations are like apples and oranges depending on the level of trauma that you've gone through in your life. So I'm not saying like be happy, but I'm saying like be aware that it can be worse. Not that I'm wanting that for you, but like it could have been worse. Most of the time, that's always the case. Like it could have been worse. So your subconscious energy, though, is the Two of Wands. This is portal energy, of making a new plan or a new path. This is like you had a fork in the road, and you chose, or you're choosing something actively right now. So that's a cool energy. Now, in your hopes and fears, you also have the Four of Pentacles. Maybe you feel like you held back, or maybe you're holding back and being a bit more reserved, or setting some very firm boundaries. Sometimes this has to do with saving financially. So maybe you're trying to have a nest egg that you're saving up for. But in your potential outcome here, you have the Death card and the Six of Wands. This is a very interesting set, I guess. I don't know what to call it. It's like both are kind of celebratory, even though that seems backwards for death. But death is like a symbol of life in the same aspect. So it's like you have Six of Wands, which is typically a card of victory and celebration. And then you have the Death card, which is like, to me, it's like shedding the old skin, letting go of the ego, letting go of the pride, and really moving forward. Now, it could be an actual literal death, that you're trying to celebrate someone's end of life and celebrate that sort of thing as well. So take that message as it resonates. But that's what I have for you when it comes to the tarot. So hopefully that helped. If it did, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. And then I'm going to dive into the oracle cards. You have a little bit of everything here, but mostly a lot of this is very reflective of healing, recovery, awareness, contemplation, because you also have recovery. This is tied to your crown chakra, which is tied to your higher self and connecting with your spirit guides and that sort of thing. It looks like ghosts in the thing here, or apparitions. So I do feel like that recovery is the key to aligning with your highest self. And I do feel like you're on that proper journey because you have the Judgment card. So it's like you're in communication with your guides and your spirits and your angels, whether you really realize it or not. But make sure you're paying attention to like synchronicities, because usually those mean like you are subconsciously in alignment, and it's just kind of a synchronicity or confirmation for you just to say, hey, you're in the right spot. So, like, when I see the number 222, I know things are where they're supposed to be, even if it doesn't feel like it to me. Somebody out there is sending me a message, or my subconscious psyche is telling me, like, hey, you're all right, you're good, keep going. And another confirmation that you are healing is a time for healing, balsamic moon. I'm not sure why I'm thinking of like balsamic vinaigrette. Is it yeah, it's balsamic vinaigrette. That might be a message. Maybe you should go make some, what's that thing with like, it's like tomato, mozzarella, basil, and balsamic vinaigrette. I forget what it's called. Caprese? Caprese salad? Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe that's what you should make for lunch. I don't know. But there you go, collective. And then you have harness with your third eye intuition. It says play a guessing game every time you get a call or a text. Are you spot on, or is it wishful thinking, knowing other people's habits? Tune in and go with your gut and see if you can harness your intuition. Sometimes you can do it like when you flip a coin too, and then you can like hold it and then you can guess like, is it heads, is it tails, stuff like that. Now you also have creative force from the I Ching deck. This means pure creative spirit flows through people and events, and inspiration wants to be realized and moved. Welcome to its momentum and find ways to stay in this vital energy. Sustain a constant two-way flow between source and action. Be true to your intention and align your choices with the original vision to yield positive results. When you're connected with your crown chakra and this high energy at this peak point, that's when creative force really flows in. A lot of people tap in through some sort of meditative flow. Basically, that's what transcendence is, when we can transcend our mind and connect with the higher source, which is basically interdimensional connections, which is scientific fact, okay? This isn't like me making up stuff. This is like proven in our brainwave frequencies. And typically, when we can get into a state of gamma, then we are really connected with our higher self and that flow. And that can also be done like musical artists can really get in there when they're in a certain flow, playing the piano, driving a car, anything that gets you in that meditative sort of energy can help you access your creative force, which we all have access to. And then the cards I have from my archetype deck is the underworld and the siren. So maybe singing is your way of connecting to the flow, the siren, the mermaid. I don't know, mermaid song, something like that. This could also be like maybe a siren of temptation, tempting someone in a third party situation. And then the underworld is like the shadow aspects of ourselves, the subconscious psyche. The underworld I like to think of also as like our emotions and how we handle shadow work and things like that, because we are all here to learn lessons. We are all here to do soul growth, and that usually comes through experience and hardship and karma and things like that. Oops. Now you also have the tribe card, number 8. So you might be looking for your soul tribe. And then you have harmony. So something about music, definitely. It says you are able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. You also have bear, so maybe you need to embody the feminine and the masculine because you have bear and you have siren. Maybe you're just ebbing and flowing between the two. I kind of think of that as like lion and lamb energy, when you can be in your masculine and your feminine. It's the balance of the yin and the yang, which is sometimes what we need to have happen in order to live in this 3D state, because we have to be able to defend ourselves. We have to be able to speak our truth. We have to be able to be in our soft side when we need to embrace and embody those kind of personality traits, but like those energies. Now, the bear says be sensitive to where you are and reflect on where you would most need healing. Again, with the healing. And then the last card I have for you, collective, is the, this is from my Moon Oracle deck. It says, my world has an abundance of love, trust, and compassion. And whenever I'm looking at this, I'm just thinking of the like Soundgarden Black Hole Sun song. So you might want to check out those lyrics too, because that might be significant. But your world does have an abundance of love, trust, and compassion when you have those things for yourself. And just remember, how other people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. When they lie to you, they're really lying to themselves. When they deceive you, they're really deceiving themselves and betraying themselves. It's just like sometimes we don't get to see all the karma play out. We can't just sit there with popcorn all day. Like we actually have to live our lives and do the healing and the shadow work. And eventually, um, sometimes when the universe is generous like that, we do get to watch those things play out. And typically, I don't find joy in someone else's misfortune or when things happen. Like, am I petty? A little, I guess. But it's also like when you find joy and pleasure in someone else's pain, then you're a sadist, okay? So, like, make sure you're watching yourself because that's also karma, how you kind of perceive that situation. So, typically, I just come at it from a state of like, wow, I really hope they learn their lesson or somebody teaches them humility someday because, if my brain doesn't think that way, and I'm happy that I don't think in a deceitful or a betrayal manner because if I did, I'd be concerned, you know? So just kind of take how people treat you with like a grain of salt and understand that they're probably just coming from an unhealed place. So that's what I have for you, collective. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, please smash the like button. It helps my channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. Also remember to go listen to that song called Fighter by, oh shoot, who is it by again? I might just put it in the comments. No, there it is. Royal Deluxe. So that sounds like a hamburger. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.